All right, so here's our elevated tub. Oh, which Molly's really eager to get into. We also have a floor tub, so for dogs that are too large to fit into our elevated tub or are maybe physically incapable of climbing the ramp, I do have a tub that's on the floor. I'll show you that too. But Molly's capable of jumping up here. It's a little bit easier to do a bath when the dog is up here than if they're on the floor, so we're just going to do it up here. And you're not going to be able to see a lot because she's in the tub, but what you can see is the pads on the back of the tub here. These are designed to, or meant to muffle some of the sound of the water in the tub. Because it's a stainless steel tub, it can be really noisy. So when the water crashes in there, it can be kind of scary for dogs. And so I wanted to dampen that sound a little bit by adding these mats in here and sort of muffling the sound. So that's what those are for. The shampoo that we use is tearless, which means if it does get in your dog's eyes, it's not going to sting or burn. It's also biodegradable, so it's good for the environment. And I go ahead and just put my conditioner right in there too, so that I'm not having to apply multiple drenchings to the dog. So my shampoo is in here, my conditioner is in here. We're just going to get it all done in one shot. I'm also going to clean her ears while she's in the tub, and that way those are taken care of. I'm going to kind of get that ear cleaner in there, squish her ears around, really make sure that it gets down in there, and then I'll swab them out after that cleaner's had a little time to get in there. Good girl. Squeeze it in, give her head a little massage. Good girl. Good job. So one of the things that's really important when bathing a dog, and whether you're doing your own dog at home or having someone do it for you, is to make sure that the coat is thoroughly saturated. So people will sometimes just kind of wet the dog like that and then rub the shampoo in, but you want to make sure that the dog is wet all the way down to the skin. Girl. Girl. And then once she's wet, I'm going to put the shampoo on. Be generous with your shampoo. You don't want to use so much that it's impossible to rinse out, but people often don't use enough. So for a dog her size, and granted this is diluted, but I'm probably going to use close to this whole bottle for her because I really want to make sure that it's in there, that I've got her nice and clean, and I'm not skimping on it. So, good girl. Girl. So I want to see some suds. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. girl. Tail. I'm trying to pick my pocket. I really like this overhead arm in our tub because it lets the dog move around. I think one of the reasons that dogs get panicky in grooming tubs is because they're sort of pinned in one position. They're sort of stuck to one side of the tub or the other. So this overhead arm, because the loop has a swivel, lets the dog move around a little bit more freely. It makes them a little less anxious. They're not quite so trapped. So I like that overhead arm a lot. I'm really glad that we chose a tub that has that, even if that means that I have to kind of keep track of what side of the dog I'm washing. I make sure that I get all the parts. I feel good. Work that in. Touch. Good girl, good job. Let's get this side. Molly does not have sensitive skin or allergies, so I'm just using our regular BioGroom shampoo. We do have oatmeal shampoo. We do have a whitening shampoo, so if you have a white dog, we really want to make that coat shiny and bright. We might use a whitening shampoo, but Molly is not sensitive to anything really and doesn't have dry skin, so we're just using our regular shampoo and conditioner. Ooh. I'm gonna swallow it, babe. You gotta chew. Back up. Stay. Stay. Good. Good girl. So even though it's tearless, obviously I'm gonna try to not let it get in her eyes, but she does need her face washed. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Good job. There's so much fur coming off already. I don't know if you can see. Yuck! Even more is going to come off during the drying process, which is why I'll show you I have the curtain shut in here so that we don't get fur in the rest of the building. It's okay. Good girl. So she is pretty thoroughly soaped. Get everything. Good girl. And I did use most of that bottle. Usually with large dogs, they don't need their anal glands expressed. Generally, large dogs are able to empty on their own, and so they don't need a manual expression. But Molly's been scooting her butt lately, so I'm going to do her anal glands. I'll spare you the close-up because it's kind of gnarly, but I do want to see, touch. Good girl. If I can stop that scooting a little bit. Yeah, they don't really like this. It's a little invasive. And for obvious reasons, I do that part of the groom when the dog is in the tub. So let me get her rinsed. girl, Molly. Good girl. Girl. It's really important to rinse very, very thoroughly. You don't want to leave any shampoo in the dog's coat because that can irritate their skin, even if it's a gentle shampoo. Also, when you start brushing, if the shampoo is still in the coat, thank you. If the shampoo is still in the coat, then you're going to get a lot of flakiness and stuff. So I'm being really thorough with rinsing her. I want to make sure that I'm getting all the shampoo out. When I rinse her head, I need to make sure that I'm getting all of the shampoo from underneath her ear and on the side of her cheeks where I rubbed it in. But I'm trying to pinch her ear canal closed so that water doesn't get down in there. Good girl. Good girl. Touch. Oops, not quite. Touch. Good. Oop, you gotta spin for me. This way. Good girl. So she is clean. I'm going to take a couple swipes with this rubber tipped curry brush to try to loosen some more hair before I put her under the dryer, and then we'll get her dry. So one of the things about bathing, obviously we want our dogs to come home from the groomer clean, but the other thing that bathing allows me to do is assess your dog. So I can see any lumps and bumps that maybe are normally hidden by fur, but when the fur is wet and it parts, I can see it. I can see if there are any injuries, any kind of hot spots, anything that I need to be aware of when I'm brushing or clipping your dog. So for instance, I just noticed that Molly has a little spot on the inside of her leg that I haven't noticed so far. So I want to make sure to keep an eye on that in case it gets any bigger or changes color on me or anything like that. So it's really nice to have the dog under the sprayer because it gives you a nice look at their skin. Does that feel good? Good girl. Yeah, it feels nice, doesn't it? Good girl. Stand. This is helping squeegee some of the water out of her coat as well, which will make her time under the forced air dryer a little shorter. Kind of forcing some of that water out of the coat. Good Dryer is generally the most stressful part of a groom for a dog, other than waiting in the kennel. So I try to do everything I can to really reduce the amount of time I need to spend with the dog under the dryer, because I don't want them to have to endure that any longer than necessary. Force all the water I can out of her coat. Good girl. Good. Good girl. And then, of course, I'm going to towel dry her. Good girl. Back up. Good. Good girl. Squeeze all the water I can with the towel. Good girl. Where are you going? Oh, you want treats? Stand. Good. Stand. Good girl. Good job. All right, so I'm going to get her over into the walk-in tub to do her dry. I don't want to do it in a stainless steel tub because, again, there's that noise factor. I don't want the dryer booming off the sides of this stainless steel tub because that's really loud, although, thank you, that helps. Although you'll see I'm going to put cotton balls in her ears and put this little snood down over her head to muffle the sound of the dryer a little bit, but still I want to do it in as quiet of an environment as I can. So let me get her out of the tub and over into where I'm going to dry her.